which then takes me to the next pillar, which is really, so let me pull back a bit. So what we said was, I think the longevity of careers are increasing.
Yes.
Therefore, the way we work is changing. The way we learn, we have to change. And the way we earn is going to change, right? So therefore, how do you see the way we earn changing? Because, the fact that, lifelong employment, increments year after year, sustained jobs are there, changes that you are seeing. And therefore, if I were moving in my life, how should I approach the way I earn?
My Swami, you asked me very difficult questions. I wish there was some simple answer. There is no simple answer. Again, I'm going to take a stab at attempting it.
No, the reason I'm asking that, Neeraj, is you got about 100,000 people in your platform.
Yep.
Now, the way they look at how they want to earn is an indicator, okay, for me,
Okay.
on how I need to prepare when I actually reach there, right? So because that's something that I think we all have to be ready for, which means that even at the age of say 30 or 40, my ability to look at flexi pay, my ability to look at gig work, my ability to look at expertise, all that needs a change, and that's the reason I'm asking that question.
It's a very good question. So maybe I'll answer this a little differently, and then please bear with me. The way I'm going to answer this question is, what does today's a happy 65-year-old, today's 7-day week look like? Okay. So again, what does a happy 65-year-old's 7-day week today look like? And it'll answer inherently the questions you've asked on today's situation, which is, it's a portfolio life, which means they do multiple things. So if you take the 7 days, the first 2 days are earning by doing things that you're really good at. So if I'm a very good marketing person, I work for 2 days a week with different companies, one company, multiple companies, to transfer my marketing skills to the benefit of value creation and then earning money. The money I earn in those 2 days is enough for me to sustain my week and not dip into my savings. So there's an element of savings, right? So which we'll also talk about. So that's my 2 days. The third day is a day of teaching. And you had asked this question on intergenerational connections. What we have found in research is the ability to stand up and teach, literally get up and teach younger people, is such an important part of, no matter what age you're at, of feeling very relevant. Now, you may or may not get paid for it, but that's your third day. Your fourth day is a day of giving, where you work for a non-profit, social impact, or because again, in the research that we have done in these 100,000 people, is a lot of people want to. See, these are things, and when we've asked people, are you happy? And then we kind of understand their portfolio life, this is what we find. This is what 80% of, and there are always edge cases, but 80% of the people have this fourth day of social impact, right? So you got 4 days. The balance 3 days are a mix of learning, a mix of family and travel. Whatever, spiritual, whatever you put, those 3 days are your days of staying relevant. Now, this is the broader context of a happy 65-year-old today. So, portfolio life, earning and giving, teaching and learning and spending time with family. Now, you start working backwards. When you are 55, so in a way you're playing around with this, right? So, your teaching may be on the weekend, your giving may be on the weekend, and it may be 4 days of working or 5 days of working. But that starts shrinking, right? But the underlying thing of this is you still need to save money. Now let's work backwards on the bigger question you asked. Earn. I think my advice and what I've learned of all people who are happy as they get older have a much better handle on their own finances. Right? So this whole notion that we see, and I see this in younger people today, is let me spend what I earn. Like even in my team, I have people, okay, I don't want to save for my retirement yet, but we'll. So a lot of us push out the future part, and I think if you want to have a better life in the future, you have to save more sooner, and you have to work, as Morgan Housel says in his book. You have to let compounding work for you, because if you don't do it early on, so that's one piece. The second piece is health insurance. I think a lot of people miss, even it's a small, we think, health insurance, we'll see, right now I don't have any problem. Health insurance, life insurance, these costs go up as you get older. I tell people, a lot of people who are even retiring, I said, if there's one thing that will drain your finances, no matter how much you have saved, is not having enough health insurance and getting stuck with a health problem. So to come back to your question on earning, I think opportunities to earn will increase. Commitment of organizations to individuals is already reducing. You have to take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, the money you earn, make sure you don't spend it all and save it. Make sure compounding works for you sooner than later. And now the question on learning, which I think something I missed, it all goes in tandem, right? So you're learning, earning, unlearning, learning, earning. So also and you have to be prepared for it mentally. This whole notion that, I did this and I'm going to be dependent for the rest of my life on something I did, it's not going to work.
So the fact that be ready for volatility, be ready for change, be ready to have a portfolio life. I think you have really
Correct.
put it very well. I think
and have the money to last, right? Because so I was talking to somebody yesterday, and he was leaving at 55, and he asked me, okay, I'm thinking of having this portfolio. He didn't phrase portfolio life, but that's what he was saying he wanted to do. He wanted to be a coach, he wanted to be a mentor, he wanted to help startups. And I just asked him one question. I said, if you don't make money, how long do you think you will last? He's like, 8 months. I said, look, you have bigger problems to worry about. Make sure you get back into a full-time job or whatever and save the money for you to do other things. Because by the way, the portfolio life does not pay as much as a full-time job does. And therefore, unless you're really good at something where people say, look, I want this and I'll pay whatever, and now in this world of AI, so I'm saying there's lots of these complexities coming, but the more important part is you in your own head should know what is coming. So the first thing, and Swami, you said it very well, you need to know what is coming and therefore be prepared for it.
Very nice.